everybody, welcome back to Project My Celestial. My name is Maria Onadeka and I am your host here at Project My Celestial, where we talk about the Celestial Church, the theologies, the ideologies, the biblical teachings, the principles to help you grow and understand the faith and the Spirit of God in the Celestial Church. Today, I will be talking about finding your place in the Celestial Church, or finding your place in the body of Christ, in the church. So if this is something that interests you, please keep on watching. This topic is so close to my heart because I had such a hard time finding my place. Even though, I grew up in the church, my dad is a shepherd, I lived in the church, I still was very close to God. I prayed, I read my scriptures, I would go to other churches, but it just wasn't the same. So this topic is very dear to my heart. So whether you're new to the church, whether you're new to the body of Christ, or whether you've just been a part of the church, whether, you're returning or you're just feeling unsure about where you belong, I pray that this video will give you some type of clarity and some encouragement. So let's get into the video. So first, understanding the body of Christ. As believers, we have to establish this one truth. We are all part of one body, the body of Christ. We are all part of one body. And this is beautifully explained in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 12 through 14. It says, just as a body, though one, has many parts, but all its parts form one body, so it is with Christ. For we are all baptized by one Spirit, so as to form one body. Whether Jews or Gentiles, slave or free, we were all given the one Spirit to drink. Even so, the body is not made up of one part, but of many. And you have to remember that the body, this one body, we have just one body, but it's made of many parts. You have your eyes, your nose, your ears, your mouth, but they all work together for one good, which means that we all have a unique role to play. Your gifts, your talent, your personality, they're all random, but they come together intentionally. They are intentionally designed by God, especially when you think about the human body. My hands, my mouth, my nose, they all have their roles. And that is, it's the same with the body of Christ. And when you think about the church and the coming together of the church, we are all one body and we are all designed very differently, but we are intentionally designed differently so we can fulfill a greater purpose. So another segment that I would like to delve into is how to discover your spiritual gifts. First thing that you need to do when you're trying to find your place in the body of Christ is discovering your spiritual gifts. These gifts, they are tools that God has given to us so that we are able to serve Him and be able to serve others. And this is very well explained in the book of Romans chapter 12, verse 6 through 8. And it says, we have different gifts according to the grace that's given to each of us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance with your faith. If it is serving, then serve. If it is teaching, then teach. If it is to encourage, then give encouragement. If it is given, then give generously. If it is to lead, do it diligently. If it is to show mercy, do it cheerfully. Take time to reflect and pray about your spiritual gifts. What do you enjoy doing? Do you enjoy giving gifts? Do you enjoy serving? Do you enjoy hospitality? What do you enjoy as a person? What are you naturally good at? You might find your place as a teacher, Sunday school. You might find yourself as a worship leader. Go into the choir. You might find yourself as an intercessor. Go into the prayer team. We have the ushers. They are always praying. They always just interceding for people. If it is hospitality, same thing with the ushers. If it is administration, you want to be part of, the administrative team. There is a place for you in the body of Christ. So do not be discouraged. I am begging you. I've been there and I am telling you that it will get better. So do not be discouraged. Push yourself, find yourself, and just know what is natural to you, and let that kind of attract you towards, that part of this body of Christ. So another segment or another part that I would like to talk about is the importance of community. So while you're discovering your gifts as a person, it is not something that you can do in isolation. God designed this community. While you are trying to discover yourself, even though discovering your gift might be personal to you, you don't have to do it in isolation. God designed us as a community, especially in the Celestial Church of Christ. You see us, it's a lot of us. We're jollying, we're dancing, it's a lot of us. And God designed us as a community. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 24 to 25, it encouraged us to gather together as people of God. It's encouraging you to gather together. And let us consider, I'm going to read it for you. It says, and let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds, not giving up something together as some are in the habit of doing, but in encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. This just tells you that we are a community that comes together to encourage one another, to pour into one another, and we do not give up easily. When you have several different sticks together, it's hard to break them. But if you're just one single person, it's so easy to break them. That's an old adage, and I hope you understand what I mean by that. As a bunch of brooms cannot be easily broken. So, as a person, make sure that you find yourself a community. Being a part of a local church community helps you grow spiritually, helps you connect with others, and helps you find opportunities to use your gifts. And, I don't want you to underestimate the value of fellowship, the value of community, the value of coming together of God's people. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The thing that I would like to touch on is overcoming doubt and fear. All of this they get to me because I've been there. Maybe you feel like you're not qualified, or you're not good enough to serve, or, you're just not the right person. You have to remember that God does not call the qualified, but he qualifies the person that he called. Oh my gosh. Like this. And also in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5, it says that before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And before you were born, I set you apart. What more do I have to say? What more do I have to say to let you know that God has a plan for you in his church, in his sanctuary, in his community? You were created with purpose, and God has equipped you with everything that you need. So do not let fear, do not let insecurity, do not let anything hold you back from stepping into your purpose, from stepping into your role as a child of God, or as a part of the body of Christ. So another thing that you have to do is walking into your calling. So once you discover yourself, once you don't let fear or doubt get to you, finding your place in the church, you have to step out in faith, and you have to just start doing it. Step out in faith, start serving. It may not always feel easy, especially when you first start. It's not going to be easy. Nothing is easy. But obedience to God always bears fruit. As the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 23 says, obedience to God always bears fruit. Also, my favorite Bible verse, Hebrews 12:11, says that no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but they seem painful. No discipline feels pleasant at the time, but they are so painful. They are so painful, but later on, it produces harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. This verse, I grew up on this verse, and coming from a Yoruba church, they would it was drilled into my head like gbogbo ìbáwí kò dàbí ohun ayọ̀ nísinsìnyí bí kò ṣe ìbànújẹ́, ṣùgbọ́n níkẹyìn yóò so èso rere fún àwọn tí a ti kọ́ nípa rẹ̀. So nothing seems pleasant in the present, but later on, or anything good that you're working on, no matter, like, sometimes it just may feel hard in the present, but you have to know that the harvest will be bountiful. So whatever you do, work at it with all of your heart. You're working for God, not for human masters. You're not working for the shepherd. You're not working for the chorister, for the choir master, for the head of shepherd, or you're not working for humans. You are working for God. Since you know that you are working for God and you're doing it so diligently, you will receive an inheritance from God as a reward. So you will reap whatever you sow, just like Cain and Abel. Whatever you give to God as a sacrifice, God will tell you if, whatever you're giving to me is not good enough. God will tell it to you. So give God your best sacrifice and God will multiply it for you. As long as you know that and you kind of put that in the back of your head, your service is an act of worship. And it's a way to glorify God. You have to do it diligently. You have to do it. You have to pray without ceasing. You have to read the word, and you just have to keep on going. You have to understand that you are a part of the body of Christ. You are a part of the body of Christ. So just to kind of recap on all of the points that I brought up in this video, how to find your place in the body of Christ, you have to know that you are part of the body of Christ. If you're the arm, if you're the ear, if you're the nose, trying to figure out what part that you are in the body of Christ has to start with you knowing. You have to know first that you are a part of the body of Christ. And then discovering your spiritual gifts, you have to do it through prayer and reflection. So reflecting on what things come to you naturally, what things you find joy doing, what things are just like a part of you. That's reflection. And also praying, you have to pray to God about your gifts. Also getting plugged in a local church or a local community, or people that are like-minded, people that are seeking God in unison, people that have the same values as you. Those people will help you grow as a person and help you grow spiritually as well. Another thing that I talked about is trusting God to equip you in overcoming your doubts and your fear. So you have to pray and you have to trust. So trust God. Pray to God and trust God to equip you and, remove every spirit of fear and every spirit of doubtness from your heart. And the very last thing you have to do after you've done all of these things is to walk boldly in your calling. Walk boldly in your calling and serve. Serve as you're serving unto the Lord, not like you're serving human masters. You're not serving the shepherd, like I said. You're not serving the choir master. You're not serving the head of prophets. You're not serving the ushers. You're not serving people. You are serving God. So everything that you do, you have to do it as though you're doing it unto God. If you've been feeling lost or you've been feeling unsure about your place, you have to remember this. You are needed. You have a purpose and you are a part of Christ, and God's kingdom is stronger and more complete because of you. So if you found this video helpful, if this video encouraged you in any way, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel so I can continue to bring out really good educational content, and also make sure to share it with a friend if you know someone that really needs these words of encouragement or someone that needs this educational piece. Make sure to share it with them. Do not be selfish. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we are talking about the goodness of God on this channel, and we're talking about the goodness of the Celestial Church, and just be in the community. This can be the community that you need. And I pray that as you do so, God blesses you, and I would see you in the next video.